All set? Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Today is Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. Let's all rise and have Greg Godlewski lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda, unfortunately, Lisa Callahan, Democrat, 290 Beach Road, term 1123 to 1125, has resigned from the Ethics Commission as of December 6, 2024, due to a change in residency. And just want to thank Lisa for her all her hard work, which she was probably very busier than she expected to be. And so thanks, Lisa. Item number 4, reappointment to the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee. Adrian Z. Cantor, Democrat, 11 Myron Street, term 1124 to 1128. May I have a motion? Yeah.
So moved.
Second. Adrian probably is not here because she's only been on for a few months. She was filling out the end of a term, and I think the expectation, we just voted on her not that long ago, is, I don't think she is here, but she's done a marvelous job, and I'm definitely going to vote for her today. Any comments?
Thank her for being willing to continue to serve.
Adrian's a transportation planner and perfect for this position. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Thank you, Adrian. For the record. Item number 5, appointments, Board of Health, Sophia Penley, Democrat, 343 Sturgis Road, term 1124 to 1128, and she is replacing Mary Frances L. DeStefano, whose term expired. And many, many thanks to Mary Frances for your hard work over the years. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Sophia, can we hear from? Oh, Sophia. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
You want to go up and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, sure.
Sorry, I'm out of it.
That's okay. Nice. That time of year. So, yeah. Hi. Yeah, just to introduce myself, or
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about your background. We know we read your.
Sure.
I know your background, but just. You're perfect for this position, so let everyone know why.
I am Sophia Penley. It's nice to meet all of you today, and I am interested in serving on the board. I have a PhD in public health and moved to Fairfield in 2018. I'm originally from the area, I'm from Greenwich, to start the MPH program at Sacred Heart University, and I was there until saw the MPH program to accreditation, and then I was there and moved in January 2023 to the Icahn School of Medicine in Pennsylvania, where I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Environmental Medicine and Climate Science. My background research is in disaster resilience and environmental health, and I love working with our local health departments. When I was at SHU, I did a lot of work with our Medical Reserve Corps at Sacred Heart University, which is like near and dear to my heart. So I got to work closely with SAMS and some of the other local health departments. Contribute in this way.
And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Any questions or comments?
Your background is perfect, and I'm so happy that you volunteered. And I also want to thank Mary Frances for her years of service on the Board of Health. I actually served with her on the Board of Health, and appreciate her dedication to that board and for just always being a calm and collaborative voice.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor say aye. Aye. Sophia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't focused.
Don't worry about it.
You feel free to take off if you want. You don't have to stick around, but if you have a wonderful Christmas. Item 5B, flood protection, climate resilience and erosion control board. Gregory H. Pedlewski, unaffiliated, 51 Lonsbury Road, term 1124 to 1129. And he is filling a newly added seat to the commission. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Just want to say I tried to poach Gregory for another board and he said, no, this is the one he really wants to do. Do you want to tell the public a little bit about yourself? Besides that you're a civil engineer with a ton of experience.
My name's Greg Pedlewski. I've been a resident of Fairfield since 1955, owned my current residence since 1979. I've been licensed as a professional engineer and land surveyor since 1981. I was in private practice until I decided to go to the other side of the counter about 11 years ago. And I think of it as I'm doing the same job just from the other side of the counter. Stormwater, flooding, etc., has been a major part of my professional activities pretty much since I got out of college in '76. I really enjoyed it. I think I make a difference. I hope I make a difference. I'm a certified floodplain manager, with training in community grading service. I do know a number of Fairfield employees professionally, Emmeline Harrigan, Bill Hurley, just as a couple of examples. Holding further development until she retired. And it's my privilege and honor to serve on 3 school building committees. I really enjoyed it. And this gives me an opportunity to give back to the community and stay connected with the community.
You're joining at a really exciting time, and you know Becky well. She's extremely forward-thinking, and there's going to be a lot of work coming out of the master plan work that is we now have full approval for, so we can start work with that. Any comments?
Oh, great. Just your background is perfect, and we're so lucky that you decided to donate some of your time just to give back to our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Any comments from the public? Oh, Becky.
I want to say for the record how excited we are to have Greg join the board. I think he's going to add a lot of value. We're very excited about the expertise he brings, the passion he brings, and we're very excited about kicking off this new plan as well. So this is going to be a great time for our town and resilience coming up.
Thank you, Becky. So back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you very much. Have a happy holiday.
You too. Thank you. Wait, Becky, you can't. See you later. 5E, Human Services Commission, and I'm sorry, 5C, Human Services Commission. First, it's Nina Chanana, Democrat, 53 Harwich Road, term 1124 to 1128, replacing Loretta J, Democrat, whose term expired. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Nina, hi.
Hi.
Yes,
I met you at the
Opioid.
opioid
Oh,
settlement
that's right.
dollars who was hosting it? The hub somewhere.
Oh, awesome.
Nice
Well,
to see you.
nice to see you, because you looked familiar, and please tell us a little bit
So
about yourself.
I've lived in Fairfield since 1997. I had 3 kids go through the public schools. My youngest is now in college, so I feel like I have a little bit more time, which is why I finally thought about putting my hat in. I have been in consulting in the public health, behavioral health field since about 2006. My background, I have a master's in public administration, but the work I do is around assessing, planning, and evaluation. So I've worked with agencies all over the state, youth services, human services, social services, senior services, community services, helping them sort of look at what they have, what they need, where they're at, helping them get grant funds, helping them reorganize. I do a lot of data collection in my work. I'm independent, I work by myself, but I do have colleagues I collaborate with. So I think this was just a good fit for what I do, and I felt like I could probably add some, hopefully add to what needs to be done.
Good fit is an understatement. Do you have any?
I've known Nita for far too many years. I don't even want to tell you how long.
Fairfield Cares.
I think they met Fairfield Cares. We have children around the same. I think we first met through a mutual friend when we had little ones, but worked together on Fairfield Cares. Tried to get her,
Yeah, so I do a lot of work in the prevention field as well.
and she has served as a resource to Fairfield Cares over the years. I saw that she put her name in. I thought this commission would be a great fit, and looking forward to hopefully working with you again through Fairfield Cares. And come to some of our meetings. Julie is there, and I think you'll be a great fit. And just your background in all sectors.
Yeah.
Services, human services, would be an asset to the commission and to our town. So thank you for volunteering.
Yeah, this commission's really remarkable. Any comments from the public? Oh, Julie, yeah.
Thanks, Julie. How are you? Great. It's been a while.
Since the 90s,
Yeah.
we were in a playgroup together in the 90s. Your timing is perfect. We're looking at all of those areas. So
Good.
I am very, very excited that you're going to be on this commission.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, nice to see
Fun.
you.
It's fun doing the planning.
Wait, so you were in a play group
Yeah.
together in the 90s as kids?
Wild.
As parents or as children? No. So, any other comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Nina.
guys. Good to see everybody. It's like old home day here.
So 5C2, Megan Hannum, Democrat, 644 Rowan Road, term 1124 to 1128. Replacing Barbara M. Paris, Democrat, whose term expired. Thank you so much, Barbara, for your work. And we're thrilled to have so all in favor, I may have a motion. Skipping it. Seconded, Megan, can you speak to the public? Tell us about yourself.
Okay. I am Megan Hannum. I am a lifelong resident of Fairfield. I haven't been involved in any volunteer roles since 20 years ago. I was on the RTM for a bit, and recently retired and saw the newsletter come out and saw there were some vacancies on the board, and just interested in the services that are geared toward the seniors. Just been learning more.
And you've amazing background as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I've been my background is finance. I'm a CPA. I've worked both for years, controller in the market research industry for 25 years. Not quite aligned like the previous people, but excited to use skills that I can bring.
Skill sets necessary as well. That's why it adds another dimension. Anyway, it's sort of more aligned with my skill set. Any comments?
I think that excited. I want to thank just Loretta and Barbara and Carolyn for their years of service. And I think that your background, I think just having a diverse skill set will be an asset to the commission, serving many different age groups throughout town. Grant funding, looking for grant is always, part of, I know the work that Julie is always on the look at. So I think that your background in finance will be an asset to her and a resource. So thank you for getting back and coming back into the public sector.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Oh.
Surprise.
Hello.
So I'm thrilled that Megan's going to be on this commission with your vote. We were on RTM together, 20 something years ago, and she was always very thoughtful, well researched. Really nice to be around, and will be a wonderful asset to this commission. I'm really excited.
Sure. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
5C3, Bernard F. Lynch, unaffiliated, 20 Middlebrook Place, term 1124 to 1128. Replacing Carolyn H. Sturgey, Republican, whose term expired. Carolyn, I don't know, Carolyn's been an amazing asset to the town in many facets and on this commission. But she, I believe, was continuing on with Sullivan McKinney Elder Housing, her involvement there. But thank you for your service, Carolyn. May I have a motion for Bernard Lynch? Seconded. Bernard, tell us about yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bernie Lynch. I am a 35-plus year resident of Fairfield, raised a child in Fairfield. I'm looking forward to serving on the Human Services Commission. I'm aware of the work that the Human Services Department does, and they're a tremendous asset to the town. And my hope is that I can contribute in some way in helping expand the service portfolio, and also helping those who are in need of their services, make them aware of the services that are available through the town Human Services Department. It's a huge asset. Recently, I've been working with local nonprofits, helping them develop their service portfolio and finding revenue for them to serve those who are in need of their services. So,
Would you mind talking a little bit about your, I mean, did I miss it, but your work background with, did I miss that? Yeah. Can you tell us a little about your background?
Well, my business background was in the airline industry, marketing manager for a European flag carrier. And after that, I started working in a not-for-profit environment. And I've worked with many not-for-profits. I think I was involved in bringing the first grant revenue for Fairfield Cares to the town of Fairfield. Was that 20 years ago, 25 years ago?
I didn't know that.
Could be. But I've worked with local nonprofits, helping them get non-reimbursable revenue to expand their service portfolio. Currently, I'm working with Mosaic, which used to be the Jewish home, helping them develop their grant portfolio to help basically seniors or people. So I've worked with a number of local nonprofits. I have a
And Mosaic is sort of where I've met you.
okay.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
I have an MBA locally from Fairfield in public finance, so I help support that work. I have a little bit of experience with the commission, as some of you may know, so I'm looking forward to reconnecting and again helping Julie and the department achieve their goals and objectives.
That's fantastic thing, and it's so nice that we have a balance, elder and youth, and so very dynamic commission. Thank you so much for stepping up.
Thank you.
Any comments?
Yeah, great. I think that really excited for our new appointees, come with a wealth of background and commitment to the work and to the residents that we serve, which is so important for all commissions, but especially for this one. So thank you for also stepping back in.
Any comments from the public? Oh, Julie.
Just as surprised that she's here with each
So Bernie was our chair a few years back, served for several years and did a wonderful job, and that he's coming back, it's great timing. I'm really excited to have a full commission again, to have Megan and to have Nina with Bernie. It's gonna, and we have a lot of work we can get done, so I'm very excited about it, so thank you for stepping up.
Thanks, Julie. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Bernie. Thanks for stepping up. Item number 6, and Chief Eddie Wise here. Consider an act on approving a services agreement between off-duty management and the town of Fairfield for the Fairfield Police Department for public safety software. May I have a motion? Seconded. Deputy Chief.
Thank you for having me. Off-duty management, or ADM as we call it, streamlines the coordination and administration of off-duty police assignments by acting as an intermediary between departments and private clients. ODM handles scheduling and tracking officer hours. It manages administrative tasks such as client billing, payment processing, and liability, reducing the burden on the department. Officers use ODM's platform to view and sign up for jobs while clients benefit from efficient service. The Fairfield Police Department has been under contract with ODM for the last 2 years with great success and would like to continue services with the following mutually agreed upon modification of terms to take effect pending Board of Selectmen approval. There is a proposed 1.25% increase in customer fee, raising the existing 6.75% to 8%. The increase represents approximately $1 per hour, which will be covered by the vendor. We respectfully request continuation of our contract with the aforementioned modification.
Yeah, did you want to add as an amendment to, the ability to renew in similar terms and conditions, or is this something you want to come back or?
So, yeah, that would be helpful language. The ODM contract is unique in that it can be terminated at any point with 30 days notice, so it's not like our usual every year we have to come back. But I don't see the harm in adding that.
Because there's no increased cost to the town, right?
No.
Yeah. So you don't, just to avoid coming back. Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to add at the end of item number 6, software, comma, wait, what do we normally say, to be with the ability to renew
Similar terms.
on similar terms and conditions. Yeah.
Second that amendment.
All in favor say aye. Sorry, any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, with the okay. Any comments from any on the main back to the main motion or the amended motion? Any comments on the amended motion?
No, just you're happy with the services, so I.
Yeah.
No questions.
Same here. Any comments from the public? None. Back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it for you, right? All right, take care. If I don't see you, have a great vacation. Item number 7, purchasing authority to hear, consider and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into the proposed agreement with Geddes Architects of Westport, Connecticut to provide phase 1 and phase 2 design services and all else necessary for the proposed learning center and nature's classroom at 798 Sturgis Road per the Geddes proposal dated November 7th, 2024 for an initial contract amount of $22,300. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. So do you want to start with Adam or should we start with you, Tim? Adam?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Adam Toolin, Director of Purchasing. We just have a pretty straightforward professional services agreement here. At this dollar amount, it was exempt from the purchasing policy as a professional service under $50,000. So if you have any questions specific to the work, Mr. Bishop could probably answer, but this is for the Conservation Department and that property that you know very well.
Yeah, I think, Tim, if you don't mind, because I'm sure we both read the backup and get a sense of what you're planning, but the public may not have had a chance. So, there's something about a lift in there and about what you want to do on the first and second floor and the ADA and porch and all that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Adam. He said it all, but I'll
Yeah.
I'll share those items. So the intent is of this contract is to obtain the architect for the design, really on the exterior and some of the ADA functions of the property and the structure itself. The largest challenge being the handicap ADA ramp in the front, which will involve some additional grading and raising the grade in the front, removal of the stone steps will get incorporated into that design in the front. So if you're facing the house right now, obviously we haven't hired them yet, but the verbal discussions and the intent would be to swing that ramp to the left of the front door that is facing. Additionally, the contract will involve some other ADA features on the interior, such as bathrooms, and kind of some other compliance issues. That's really about it. Also, some design ADA entrance in the back, which will allow you on the ground floor to the facility from that level.
So there was something that I wasn't aware of that you were thinking of, but there's something about like a lift in the document. Are they going to look at designing possibly a wheelchair lift or something?
There was that discussion as possibly an alternative to the ramp in the front.
Okay.
But I think the ramp being non-mechanical will reduce or prevent maintenance costs, long-term maintenance costs.
Right.
Functionality with either electric or hydraulic mechanicals to raise that in the winter time and dealing with rust
And they're looking at so the ground floor for the public's like being a lab space.
Correct. Yeah, there'll be some of the field for laboratory functions and programming on the ground floor, so that'll be important to do and have wheelchair and handicap access from the back and from the ground, as well as the front for the, we'll call it first floor. There won't be any access or need for ADA functionality for the second floor. That'll be closed off to the public.
Questions, comments?
We had a lot of different stakeholders looking at this property in terms of the design of the classroom. I don't know if you engaging some of these stakeholders in terms of ideas.
Yeah, that's coming.
For design, from just having this be totally sustainable to Mill River. Just kind of curious how this work potentially would fit into any future work that you see being done at the site. Just being a little forward thinking. I know that we have to address the ADA issues.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. We're gonna get it open and working and operational. Obviously, this is the critical piece on the front end. I'll call it construction and outfitting, the interior and the exterior for access. There are some things that we'll discuss. We're probably gonna, as far as mechanicals and of the building itself, heating and things like that. Right now, we're temporarily on oil. We're looking to convert that maybe to gas for now. To, dig in a little bit more on what our options are, but eventually going a more sustainable route is something we'll be doing. But it's not critical to getting the place open and working. More so on getting the ADA piece is most important. Getting it working, but
I do recall something in the write-up that like sort of the next phase would be stakeholder meetings for programming needs that will help inform the internals, the way you design the internal.
exactly. I'm already looking at, I have the list of start providing that input, and I'm looking at mid-January dates to get that group together. I've called it the think tank in the past. That will provide the input for design of the ground floor laboratory, aquatics area, as well as kind of programming and other classroom related functions on the first floor. That is coming shortly. That's to get the ADA compliance and people into the building, physically into the building is one of our first kind of construction priorities. And that'll translate to public works, building maintenance with Jim Ryan, and as far as we need to design that's compliant to outfit and renovate bathrooms, things like that.
I just want to say, you've gotten so many people excited about this. This was really forward thinking on your part, that you identified this space, you networked with the landlord, you got him excited about doing it, and this wouldn't have, I mean, it wouldn't have even been a thought had it not been for you, and I'm just so thrilled and can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you. I appreciate the support of the administration, past and present, and you know, all the interest groups related on the environmental side.
It's a long list.
Yeah.
You may regret it.
The support from the boards, obviously, to fund it,
Yeah.
which was, you know, may have seemed in the early stages as a crazy ask, you know, to do it, but it's still moving forward. We've gotten a lot done.
It's a beautiful structure. Like, I don't think people understand just how nice this structure is. From the outside, you can't really tell. Yeah.
And we've been in it, and you really could see kind of the magic that'll happen with kind of cabin feel once kids and programs start happening there. So a lot of things in the works. I won't kind of update the public with everything right now.
When you're ready, people will be excited about it for sure. Yeah.
I drive by the property every day, and it's just so exciting that it's exciting to see this on the agenda, but it's almost want to do more. Like don't want to wait for it, for just the possibilities are so excited, and it's such a wonderful, that area of town is already such an asset to our community, but having the structure and the educational opportunities that we're now going to be able to provide for all ages is really exciting. So thank you for your advocacy. I echo the first Selectmen, and for those that drive by, it's surprising the inside of the building is really quite special, and looking forward to doing this work so we can open up to the public.
And with engineering, sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's this is really the first big step, so we can get the design, and then our town departments swinging hammers and actually getting in there to do the actual construction.
You've gotten the universities excited about teaching, and
universities are involved.
Yeah,
we've been working with them quite a bit.
Yeah,
you know, even at the high school level with Fairfield Prep on the private side. So not only we have public schools, we have private schools in both universities. So we're really great.
But across the street, we've got Anthony. I don't know if Bill Hurley was here earlier, but we need to get, well, we need to put the street safety on the map now. I know it's on your list, but it's going to become more urgent as this thing starts to take in more traffic. All right, cool. Thank you. Any comments from the public? None. Back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 8, purchasing authority to hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into the proposed contract between the town of Fairfield and Priority Landscaping LLC of Brookfield, Connecticut, to provide all labor, materials, equipment, and all else necessary for the Southport Community Connectivity Project as detailed in the town of Fairfield bid number 2025-07 and Priority Landscaping's bid submission dated October 2nd, 2024, for a total base bid of $793,009.35, with additional authority to enter into necessary change orders in an amount not to exceed the approved funding for this project. May I have a motion? Seconded, and I was chuckling because it feels like this has been going on for years, and I feel like we talk about it every week. Is this the last time we're going to talk about it?
This is the final step.
Do you want to take this, or Adam? Do you want to take this?
Since it's the contract, Adam can start, and Anthony and necessary I are here to answer your questions.
And Anthony, this is your project. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, this is Adam Tulin again, Director of Purchasing. As you said in the resolution, we put out bid number 2025-07. We received 2 responses back. Priority Landscaping was the low bid at $793,000 and change. Because there's state money involved with this, they're involved with the award process as well. So this has sort of been double vetted by both the town and the state. So yeah, we're just looking for your approval now to enter into the proposed contract.
Fantastic. We don't really need to talk about the project so much at this point, right? Because we talked about it last week. But if you want to give us an update, is there anything you want to say or?
Just come up and just give a quick, just for the
Quick
public.
update on the project and, you know, remind people what this project is, yeah.
What it is and maybe timeline. You have it.
Southport Community Connectivity Project is a connectivity project made possible from a grant from the state community connectivity project. The state grant has $360,000 after the town that's $100,000 for design.
Right.
So this project will take place on Route 1 from Hulse Highway to Pease Avenue with some portions of Woodrow Avenue and Pease Avenue within that part, and would consist of rehabilitated sidewalks that at the end, every entire area in question will have new or rehabilitated sidewalk, all connected, as well as having ADA curb ramps, as well as some traffic calming fall valves and crosswalks.
One of the reasons this was going on for a while is the state DOT needed to get back to you on a mast arm or something.
Yeah, it's about a mast arm on for the traffic signals. As you may have seen, mute that. Sorry, you may have seen on several intersections. The state's moving away from traffic signals suspended by wire into ones that are suspended with those thin pipes.
Right.
And,
Right.
And we're going back and forth concerned about the state of the traffic signals and the structural state. Our design engineers went back and forth with the state, and we were able to get that resolved. A little bit of traffic signal updating as well.
The sidewalks, is that both sides of Post Road or?
I'm not sure offhand. I think in some areas it's going to be both sides of Post
Okay.
Road, but with the crosswalks, pedestrians will be encouraged to go on either one side or the other side, but there will be crosswalks. So if there will be sidewalk on one side, there will be a crosswalk there.
Okay.
For pedestrians to go.
Awesome.
So there'll be one, at least one, if not two, cohesive lines from one end of the property to the other.
Awesome. Any?
And just any information and timeline from start to finish?
Our open project will start April of 2025. Again, we're here to hopefully authorize awarding the contract to Priority Landscaping.
And how long do you think it'll take just from start to finish? If you don't know, that's fine.
Did they promise any, or did they indicate anything like?
Yeah, we actually haven't really been in contact with them until.
Okay.
Once it becomes official, we will have our kickoff meeting where we meet them, we get their schedule and everything's going on. We're figuring based on other projects, it's probably 6 months to do most of it. And one of the key figures at least was if we can give the notice to proceed now, they can order the traffic signal equipment, which sometimes is like 10 to 12 weeks to get.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Very cool.
We gotta vote so we can get this moving.
All right, any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we're not gonna hear about this till for another year, right? And it'll be done. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks on that.
So item 9, here consider an act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into the proposed agreement with Auto Agent Data Solutions of Boca Raton, Florida, to provide the MuniCPay electronic payment processing solutions per town of Fairfield RFP 2024-72, and the Auto Agent proposal dated June 28, 2024. May I have a motion? Seconded, Adam.
Thank you. And I'm not sure if Dave Klazuski is present. He could speak specifically to any, how this might impact his department. But this is an RFP we did to get a new contract for electronic payment for tax bills. We did a full RFP. We received three responses. There was a panel that reviewed the responses and interviewed the candidates, and MuniCPay MuniCPay is the name of the software that Auto Agent provides. that was the highest rated. So we're looking to proceed with a contract for them.
Fantastic. Dave, you wanna?
Sure. Good evening, my name is Dave Klazuski. I'm the tax collector for the town of Fairfield. So what essentially we're looking for approval here is to change the vendor that we utilize for online tax payments. So taxpayers want to pay their tax bills online, whether by EFT, electronic check, or by credit or debit. They can pay through that means. There always is a service fee through that method. But what we're looking, a couple exciting things here with changing up a vendor is one, we're looking at decreasing the fees, the service fees. So for example, a credit or debit card, currently it's 2.99% of the total being paid. That would decrease to 2.65%. Then even more exciting, because an ACH payment, electronic check, is used much more frequently than a credit card due to it being a flat fee versus a percentage. That would reduce from 95 cents down to a 50-cent flat fee. And then the additional service that we want to bring into the office, it's one of the most requested services. I think I get asked this question at least once a day, every single day, usually multiple times a day, is just paying by credit or debit in the office. Believe it or not, many tax offices statewide don't offer this service. It's usually if you want to pay by credit or debit, you're told if you can't cash your check in this office, they have to walk away or go on their phone, go home, go on their computer and pay online. So
You get a swipe.
yeah, so one of the reasons why we haven't had this is I told myself if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it the right way. Meaning I want it to be that when the taxpayer, the resident, they walk in, it's the same experience as if they were to hand us cash or a check at the counter. Meaning they don't have to go to some separate terminal in the office where they have to fend for themselves and go to the kiosk and type in the information and do it themselves. They're just going to come to one of our cashiers and we'll say, you can pay cash, check, or credit debit. And then similar to you go to the self-checkout at Stop and Shop, there's going to be a terminal where we don't have to handle their card. We don't have to look at their card information. It's going to be either just tap and pay or insert chip and pay. And there should be a digital screen that tells them how much they're paying. And then it goes into our system. So
Very cool that you are.
Kind of the delay, because the few towns that do offer this service, it's, oh, you want to pay by credit card? Okay, go to this counter across the way. Then our cashier will walk over there. Then they're going to have to take your information. They're going to have to put it in. It was going to be inefficient, not really secure. I wanted to mimic the same equipment and same motion as if you just went in line at Stop and Shop and said, okay, here's your total, and then they just say tap, and that's it. So that's where we are. The hope is that once we get through our January collection month, we'll work with this vendor in terms of setting up and making the change from our old vendor to the new. There may be a little delay in getting the credit card system up and running, just because that's something that we haven't done before, and it involves working with both the online vendor but also our tax software vendor, making sure they all communicate. But I've been in contact with both, and they've assured that they can do this. So that's going to be one big positive change, along with those lower fees. And then just to make clear, the only real fee involved here is our one-time cost to purchase the 3 card readers, and that's really just a one-time fee. It's not like we're not renting it and paying an annual fee. With our previous vendor, they actually charged us a $10 fee for additional office personnel to access the system. So it's small, but it's a savings of say like $360 a year. We're not being charged that. So, those are some of the positives, and like I said, the equipment does come at an initial cost, but I think it's going to be a real positive because a lot of people do want to pay by credit or debit. There is that service fee. There's that convenience of I'm here, I didn't realize I needed cash, I don't wanna go back and get cash. I'd rather use my card, and not make an additional trip, so I think it will be well received.
I didn't read all the fine print, but I can't recall how the percentages are locked in. Is it a defined period or
Yeah, so I believe part of the agreement is in effect for 3 years from the effective date.
Okay.
And then renewed successfully for in 1 year term, so I believe it would be in effect for those first 3 years.
awesome? Yeah. Any questions?
No, I think this is great.
Yeah, I mean,
Just.
no one likes paying their taxes, but you might as well make it as least painful as possible.
and that's
It's customer service.
Yeah.
Trying to
Experience.
listen to the request. This is, people want this, and the delay was just, if we're gonna do it, we wanna do it the way that I think we want it. They don't have to, their information is secure. It's held in their hand. They tap and pay just like any other store they go to.
Thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah, and lower fees, win-win,
Yes.
and I think also just for your staff, just easier for them in terms of, I know it's my credit card, and if having dealt with that in my own work experience, that you want to be as helpful as possible, but if the infrastructure makes that difficult, you're kind of in a tough situation. So this is definitely making it easier for all involved. So thank you for taking the initiative and all the work, and you as well, to bring this before us.
In the Q&A with the vendor, I think you responded, currently it's about 10% of your transactions is that right? Are using card or?
Yeah, anywhere between 10 to 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll go up the easier it gets, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, it will certainly go up because the bulk of our transactions are still always in the office, whether that's you walk in and pay cash or check, or you mail us a check, but
Right.
that in-office transaction will increase because now it's gonna be credit cards in the
Right.
office, so.
And I also saw that, I didn't realize you do about 8,000 transactions in your office. Or is that in the Q&A, something like that, or?
Well, just for credit cards and electronic payments, that is over 50,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the I usually provide the breakdown of
Okay.
credit cards in office.
Yeah.
Bank branch transactions. I don't have that in front of me, but it's a much higher number. It could be in the 70,000s.
Okay. Wow.
70 or 80,000.
Okay.
Because we do collect quarterly for real estate. We were doing twice a year for motor. So we have sewer use. There's a lot of, every 3 months, there's a lot of transactions.
Great. Sewer use is 2 times a year? Yeah. All right, cool. Any comments from the public? None, back to the board. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks very much, David, and thanks for being forward thinking.
Are you on for number 11 too?
No, Dave normally doesn't, we have an amendment.
Oh, okay. I was-
Yeah,
But we have that, we don't normally make him stick around for that.
It's in the spirit of the holidays. I was gonna let him go on. That's all.
Oh,
Nice.
you're such a kind soul.
Yeah, I appreciate
But
that.
no one has ever, I mean, this might be the first time, but no one has ever actually stopped to talk about the refund. We will call you if they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Item number 10, engineering manager, requires Board of Finance and RTM approval. Whereas the town of Fairfield has been awarded a grant in the total amount of $280,350 grant by the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, Connecticut DEEP. And whereas the grant requires funds and in-kind services from the town in the amount of $186,900 for the water quality and climate resiliency improvements in the Rooster River Watershed Project. Now therefore be it resolved that the first selectman is authorized to make, execute, and approve on behalf of the town of Fairfield any and all contracts or amendments thereof to secure said grant, and to expend all grant funds, and the required town funds and in-kind services are required by the grant for the purposes set forth in the grant. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Bill?
Okay, to give you a little background, the town of Fairfield applied for and was awarded a grant administered by the Connecticut DEP, named the Clean Water Act Section 319 grant. This grant involves the water quality and climate resiliency improvements to the Rooster River watershed. The goal of the project is to reduce non-point source pollution in the Algonquin Villa Avenue neighborhood near the recently purchased property at 150 Villa Avenue. The town was only was selected as a few municipalities to get this award in this very competitive grant. And a matter of fact, I talked to the DEP, the whole program was only $1 million and Fairfield's getting $280,350 of it, so. You're welcome. One of the side benefits of this stormwater quality basin is that it also acts as a small neighborhood detention basin as well. So we're kind of getting two bangs for the buck, so to speak, in terms of water quality and some neighborhood detention. The grant does not, though, cover non-environmental amenities such as fencing or pavement replacement. The grant award dictated how much Fairfield received. The grant will reimburse the town $280,350. There is a town share of $186,900, in which additional funding and we can include some in-kind services with town employees, materials, and costs. The costs are considered accurate because based on contract bids, 2025-12 was the bid. We've already gone out to bid with this. So you're out here. So the key point though is we have to now separate, because this is really one of three grants for this area. 150 Villa Avenue and 191 Algonquin. There's a trail grant which the Board of Selectmen approved, but it's still with the Board of Finance. I think that was last month. And then I called Kristen McCarthy Beatty because she was really a main sponsor of it, the $2.5 million, Urban Act grant. But for the most part, that's going to cover the detention basins, which I'm hoping we hear from the Army Corps very, very shortly on that and get that project going. So it is going to involve a little bit of work of separating what the grants, what parts of the project each grant will get. And we have the contractor on board. He's supposed to start sometime in January. So again, we'll have to balance a little bit because this is why I appreciate being on the agenda here, because by the time we get the RTM approval, it's going to be pretty close to the beginning of the project. So I'm going to rush in the final paperwork for this project and the work plan hopefully by Friday. Send that in, and while they're reviewing it, because it takes about 2 months to finalize everything on the state side, we'll hopefully meet all three schedules, hop in, and we can start the project. It may be delayed a week or two, depending on the DEP. We could also have the contractor do the non-environmental amenities to get started, because in the grant, a lot of people might not realize, we can't, if we start a project with the contractor before the final agreements are in place, it becomes ineligible for the grant funding. So it officially starts of when all the agreements are in place. So there's a little bit of a balancing act in that, but it's pretty straightforward. It's environmental benefits, and it's a small detention area to help that neighborhood. It's a project that we were doing already anyway, so it's really, if there's a such thing as found money, it's
that's what I was going to ask you. That was my impression, that we were going to do this. You saw the grant, you went for it, and you were offsetting costs of work that we were going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, to show you how things are, we applied for this grant in February and just by the time everything gets going and there was assistance, of course, with Terry Brown at the time and Tim Bishop as well. But we're proud to get this grant. We weren't, as I said, because it's so very competitive, we weren't sure we were gonna get it. But we did, and it helps reduce the project costs.
That's awesome. Thanks, Bill.
For any questions you guys might have.
So the town share, some of it will be in kind services and any actual dollar amount, is that covered through the Rooster River bonding or is it in the funding source?
No, that would be, it's in the Rooster River bond.
Bonding,
part of
okay.
that package, yep.
Right. Does this free up the grant? Does it free it? We're gonna have to, we don't need to deauthorize any of the bonding because of this.
No.
Because there's so much to do.
Right.
Okay.
Because even with these grants,
It's still much larger.
Right.
Okay.
And you might recall, maybe back in October, we presented, might be even phase 1 and phase 2,
Yeah.
So this is a significant project, but like I said, when anytime, we made a commitment that if there was grant money available, we would apply for it and hopefully get it, just to at least reduce some of these costs.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone in your staff and town that worked for it. Thank you to our state reps who advocated on our behalf.
Just one, I'm trying to remember, why is this, the Board of Finance hold off on approving it? Like, we approved, this board approved it a while ago, right?
For this project, the trail
grant.
Yeah, because that one involved the town share, and I'm not sure if they had enough backup to please the Board of Finance.
We discussed it, right? Did we discuss it at the Board of Finance?
Yeah, it was discussed at the
They
Board of
discussed it, but didn't
They
vote.
tabled it. I think they tabled it.
Was it because of the moving the fence or something like that? Okay.
On that one there,
Is that gonna mess up your timing for that grant, like the?
For this, no, because that one there, the final just in case the basin shift a little bit, the trails might shift around.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
I think we're okay, but again, same thing, you don't want that one lingering and I don't wanna speak on behalf of Mr. Bishop there, but I think he was just looking at direction of, what kind of additional information they were looking for or any questions. Sure.
Any comments from the public? None? Back to the board, all in favor say aye. Aye. Approved, thank you. Item 11, refunds, tax collector, to consider and act upon tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector in the amount of $27,342.86. I'll be making a motion to amend this.
Let's put the main motion on.
Seconded. A motion to amend the main motion, $27,342.86 to $25,953.88.
Second that.
Okay, any comments? This was just because there was an error in the spreadsheet. Any comments from the public? Back to the board, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Amendment passes. Any discussion on the amended motion? No. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Item 12, minutes, to consider and act upon the minutes of October 4th, 2024, November 20th, 2024, November 25th, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Any comments? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Item number 13, A, to hear, consider, and approve dates for calendar year 2025 for Board of Selectmen meetings twice a month, except October, on a Wednesday at 4 p.m. via Zoom and in person in the first floor conference room in Independence Hall, 725 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, January 8th and 22nd, February 5th and 19th, March 5th and 19th, April 9th and 30th, May 14th and 28th, June 11th and 25th, July 9th and 23rd, August 6th and 20th, September 3rd and 17th, October 1st, 15th and 29th, November 12th and 26th, December 11th and 17th. May I have a motion?
December 10th.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you say the 11th?
December 10th and 17th. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Any comments?
I'm gonna be away from those August dates, but I will.
I hope you are and having fun. Yes.
But as this past August, might be going remotely, but these all look good.
From wherever you are, Italy, Australia, or
Not that far away.
Any comments from the public? Seeing no public, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. 13B, to hear, consider, and approve the following Board of Selectmen budget meeting dates for calendar year 2025 at 10 a.m. by Zoom and in person in the first floor conference room in Independence Hall, 725 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. Monday, February 24th, Tuesday, February 25th, Wednesday, February 26th, Monday, March 3rd. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Any comment?
I wish Ms. Kupchak was here because I seem to recall her at some point. See if you remember this, because I don't. Maybe having one of these budget meetings, not at 10 a.m. just to make it more accessible to the public. I don't know if it was the final vote.
Do not recall.
But happy to vote as just 10 o'clock time period. Staff is here, so they are available. So we'll be sensitive to that, and being at these meetings, the public can attend via Zoom. And hopefully it'll be accessible to all. Okay.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. First Selectman, updates from the First Selectman. Number one, quick update on SantaCon. SantaCon was held last Saturday, the 7th. The town was once again overrun by people from in town and out of town, young adults coming down to the beach area. We beefed up our presence. We'll be sending out more communications on this. I do want to make one statement though, which I'm not sure if you know this yet, but we had a meeting today looking at different types of scientific methods and artificial intelligence, and the numbers that have been circulating on the number of people there are grossly under what actually happened. We've using two different methods. We've concluded that the number of people in the beach area around the Lantern Point Beach and up through sort of Old Post Road was not 3,500 to 4,000 as somehow got into the press. I think that was based on historic notions of what the number of people were. The number was about 20,000 young adults being there, and that is using different types of technology and triangulating the number. One was slightly less than 20,000, one was slightly more than 20,000, different measurement, some using counting from drone pictures on the number of people on the beach at a given time, and others using other technology to measure the number of people within various intervals down at the beach. So this clearly is a big problem. 20,000 at peak time, actually over the course of the 24-hour period, closer to 27,000. So we will be using all means under our control to try to figure out what the next steps are, and stay tuned. Yes.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And clearly, not all of those young adults were going to school in Fairfield. Did you or police fire notice an increase in just the train?
Yes.
People coming off of 95.
Good point.
Just
Yes.
you're using some
we're
technology.
We're using technology that
to get a better idea of how exactly you would address this.
Well, that I can't really help.
And I know, but it's just in terms of that some of our past discussions have been to universities that we have an existing relationship with. It clearly has grown. Just on my own social media, it was showing up on my feed, and it hadn't. I don't even know how or when, and I don't know how you address that. So
I can tell you one university is taking action and the other is not. So, or taking, making difficult choices. So I think we can tell that the lion's share of the students were from within Fairfield, Fairfield/Bridgeport for Sacred Heart, Fairfield University, but also most likely high school students. And there were a fair number from Hamden, so that would indicate Quinnipiac. There were a fair number from Yale, from Wesleyan, so we know where the people were coming from. And they came from from pretty far south. There were a number of people, even as far as Maryland, coming up. I don't know if it was Maryland, but Maryland, and many from Massachusetts, Rhode Island. So what Fairfield youth students have done is turn this into a much bigger event, and so it's become a much bigger problem, and we need to tackle it. But we'll see.
Appreciate the administration's ongoing conversation with both universities. Our universities are definitely assets to our community for many reasons, but this is definitely a challenge not only for our residents, but just for our police and fire, and for the safety of all those kids that are coming from other areas to our town that are now in some respect responsible for their health and safety. So
well, we've all seen pictures of many young adults on porches that were not meant to hold. A porch collapse would be a disaster. We also have seen many young adults collapsed, unable to stand up on in the streets, on sidewalks, on other people's properties. From the universities, from other universities, from other parts of town. So, and we've seen some threatening behavior as well. So from people who had asked, young adults to get off their property and stop, urinating on their property, and the threatening behavior as a response. So, it is a big problem, and not really taken seriously enough. So by the university, by at least one of the universities, and I think there'll be ongoing conversations about this, and I definitely will be talking to people at the state level because I am really concerned about safety. So.
Thank you for the update, and just thinking just about the high school students, and as co-chair of Fearful Cares, we look at prevention, maybe more communication at the school level, just to parents so they understand.
I think so. I think,
Just be helpful
you're right.
just for looking out for our kids.
yeah, and it's disheartening to see some parents, posting online saying, oh, kids should have fun. Oh, the kids are having a great time. I mean, yes, when you go to college, you're supposed to have fun, but parents aren't supposed to be encouraging this sort of excess in risky, really dangerous situations. And I wish I didn't see that. I wish I could unsee it, but it's not really helpful and, in my opinion, not responsible. So anyway, my kids are in their 20s. They both went to parties. I went to parties. This is above and beyond what our town can really manage the way it is right now. So we need to try to do what we can, and we'll see. We're working with attorneys. We'll be working probably with people at the state level to see what our options are, and keeping a dialogue open with the universities.
But I do want to thank just the DPW and police and fire. I was not down at the beach. I was not one of those 20,000 people, but I appreciate the work that was done by our first responders, the efforts that were made prior to the event to just try to control some of the trash, something as simple as just not throwing things into Long Island Sound, having last SantaCon being there the morning after, waist deep in cold water.
This year was better.
And I think that I appreciate that the efforts that were done by all involved prior to the event to at least try to control that piece of it.
Yes.
Not to.
And Fairfield, you committed to pay for some aspects of that. We'll be submitting the bill for the whole thing to them, and they, I believe, have committed to pay for it. We've had DPW people sort of up and down the beach in the first part of the day, picking up trash. Kids were just tossing the trash on the beach. The DPW was picking it up, but what happened was the lines that we set up, the fencing that we set up, which gave them a cushion between high tide and the beach, was overrun because of the number of people. They had nowhere to drive their gator truck, their gator truck up and down the beach. So there was nowhere for them to drive to pick up the trash. And so they stopped. There were those, the kids fill up these gallon water bottles with vodka and then pour Kool-Aid powder into it. And when they're done, many of them just threw them out into the Sound. So you could see them bobbing up and down in the Sound. There's no way for us to go get those, but we did. For a period of time, we were able to pick up the trash. And then, unfortunately, the sports teams are forced, they're told to go down the next morning. They got there pretty early, and residual trash that had not gone out into the Sound was up at the high tide line, and they picked that up. So many thanks to the sports teams and those volunteers for doing that. I'm sure it was not the way they wanted to spend, their morning on Sunday, but they did it, and thanks to them. All right. Next topic, Dwight School RFQ. So we have the RFQ has gone out to assess the structure and the properties of both at the Dwight site, 2 sites, the current Dwight footprint plus the contiguous abutting footprint where an addition has been discussed, and up on top of the hill. There's a matrix, and the RFQ has been posted online. I encourage people who are interested to go take a look at it. It's very extensive. It includes the Dwight site as sort of the primary work to be done, and then secondary sites are Mona Terrace, the Giant Steps property with that building across from the Walter Fitzgerald campus, the And then looking at doing a traffic study at Jennings and looking at, is there a possibility at 2 other sites to add ECC classrooms at Osborne Hill and Riverfield. We will be eliminating, as things come up that make sites, if things come up during the course of this work that make sites clearly not right for this work, they will be eliminated. It's not going to be all or nothing. Wait till the end and then decide. Some of these things will probably get eliminated as they go through their work. This RFQ, we're expecting responses by January 21st. And then, this was a collaboration with Board of Ed personnel, and we will have a bid review and selection within this group, including Board of Ed personnel.
So when you say Board of Fairfield Public Schools personnel.
Fairfield Public Schools, and Board of Ed chair and facilities committee, subcommittee head, and vice chair were in meetings, the meeting to discuss the RFQ and the matrix.
So in terms of reviewing the bids that come in, that would not be. It would be school and town administration.
That would be, that would probably be technical, probably be the head of facilities and facilities people on both sides, town and school. I would say that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I still have a lot of questions about how this is going to move forward. Very cognizant and respectful of the fact that the Board of Education has taken action already, that there's 2 capital requests that have yet to move forward to the other town boards. So share this information at their meetings in terms of prioritizing work at Dwight and getting more information on those different scenarios. In the past, that work would have been funded by seed money and would have been done by a building committee, where there would have been a liaison from the Board of Ed, liaison from the town, liaison from public schools. And this is somewhat of a different approach. So I would just ask for similar to Penfield, which didn't have a building committee this time around, that the Board of Selectmen get regular updates on progress. In some of the earlier discussions, I mentioned looking at Riverfield and Osborne Hill for not even for ECC, but really just feasibility. I think that everybody maybe is looking at this from a different perspective. I'm looking just long range planning for the town. I think it would be good to know if additional school space could be added at those 2 sites. And I picked those 2 sites in part because they're just geographically somewhat centrally located.
Well, Osborne Hill's pretty full.
Well,
Bursting at the seams,
Well, in terms of
adding space if it's possible.
Schools, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole in terms of schools that are bursting at the seams when other schools might have capacity and redistricting. And I know that some of the conversations with the Board of Ed level was movement of the ECC out of Stratfield to possibly relieve some overcrowding at McKinley and other schools, that once Dwight is done, there could also be an opportunity, aside from what happens with the ECC, to move some specialized programming back there. So very cognizant of the impact that what happens with the school facilities, how it impacts the operations of the schools and the education we provide to our students. And I would just ask, being that we're doing this work of trying to get information sooner rather than later, just to double, if you haven't already, just check with our state delegation in terms of timing for at the state level, if we're going to be applying for any sort of reimbursement, what those dates are to get on a priority list, what the state is looking for in terms of furthering their educational priorities for students. I think that this working committee, that's not necessarily their purview, but as boards, as Board of Education member here, boards of ed, they are agents of the state, so very much are cognizant of what those priorities are. If we may, looking at putting 5 classrooms at Giant Steps or a ECC wing at Mona Terrace, but I think the state, from some information, may be looking to have those preschool classrooms abutting an elementary school for a whole host of reasons. So I'm very happy to hear the conversation and the collaboration with the school district and the Board of Ed is moving forward, and looking forward to getting this done sooner rather than later. Taking this approach was not to delay, but to kind of fast track getting information to make some of these decisions as we move forward with the capital planning. So look forward to hopefully we'll get a lot of good people submitting bids.
Yeah, hopefully. And I know the team has reached out to as many, they've looked around at other who does this kind of work and tried to get people interested in any way they could. So we'll see by the 21st, we'll see how many responses.
Yeah, and some of this, $1 million is a significant amount of money, and some of these sites we have looked at before. So want to be very thoughtful to the team and not seeking to get answers that we may already have. And
well, if you know of, we have a lot of reports, but if you know of something that you don't think they have that should go out as backup for the bids, then you can make sure that that they're included.
Well, I guess just some of the any reports that have been done already on Mona Terrace, the reports that have been done on the Giant Steps building, initial.
Yeah, those we
like
definitely
those,
have those all lined up.
And I would, just to share that, just to speed it along and maybe, not creating a wheel that we already have. For expediency purposes. Thank you.
Item 15, any announcement?
I just realized that we didn't make an amount, we didn't change the name of, on the printed agenda, it says Flood Protection, Climate Resilience and Erosion Control Board. It should be Flood Prevention. So.
What for the
appointments, just it's listed, the name of the board is listed in
flood prevention, not flood protection. Do we need to amend that? I'm not sure that really.
I would just ask that the minutes reflect that correction.
Okay.
It's not.
Flood prevention. Okay.
And Ms. Carpenter gave me a note, and I was so focused on the amendment that you took care of.
So, any other announcements?
Well, I wish everybody a very, very happy holiday. I hope that people can take some time to disconnect and just enjoy the season and enjoy the family. And even if they're not celebrating one of the holidays, just enjoy the end of the year and looking forward to a new year and all the possibilities that come with it. And I want to thank all of our town employees for their work this past year. That includes our school district. We're very fortunate to have so many wonderful people working for us. The many volunteers since I took office that have volunteered and have been eager to participate in our government through these various boards and commissions. To FairTV, who is plays such a vital role throughout the year in connecting our residents with our town government. So I thank you for always being here and always being just such a pleasure to work with. And that's it.
Ditto.
Thank you.
So we are going to go into executive session. Bill Pierce, Conan Wolf is on. So item 16, town attorney, executive session with town attorney Bill Pierce, attorney Michael Miller, and attorney John Duragazi to discuss pending claim litigation, town of Fairfield versus Osprey Environmental Engineering LLC et al. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye. We're going to go into executive session, so you need to.
Recording stopped.
Okay, and everyone must leave the room except for you, sir. So,
Recording in progress.
Okay, may I have a motion to come out of the executive session? Seconded, all in favor say aye. Aye. There are nothing to vote on. Motion to adjourn? Seconded, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.